So excited to be here with Brittany Herzberg. Brittany and I are friends. She's one of my students. I've actually been one of her clients. And we have a lot of experience working with each other. And so I'm excited for Brittany to be here and talk to you about her experience inside the pre-launch plan program. And I want you all to know a little bit more about what Brittany does because it's genius. So Brittany, please say hi and tell everyone all about you,
Well, thank you. I love that intro. You want to follow me around for the rest of the day?
right?
That'd
Give me
be
that
so great.
ego boost during the day. That's what
hmm
I need during the day,
Oh my
right?
gosh. Well, that's, part of our relationship is usually like me on Voxer, like Brenna,
Help.
help.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in my normal life, when I'm being a professional, I am an SEO and case study copywriter. And I've actually done that. My journey is very closely aligned, I would say, timeline wise with Brenna's because she jumped into pre-launch. And then shortly after, I woke up from a dream and realized case studies were something that I wanted to focus on. And what I really ultimately do is I make SEO work for you so that it drives more of the right fit, best fit traffic to your website. And then I use case studies to help people convert into clients or students or whatever it may be in your world.
Yeah. And Brittany has helped me write case studies for the pre-launch plan program. So she was familiar before she even took the program, like what it looked like, what the experience looked like. And case studies is such a huge part of what we do inside PPP. But tell me, I know you actually had created a program around case studies and I think other programs and different things too that you had done. But tell me about your experience with launching. Had you attempted to do a pre-launch on your own? Like, what did it look like?
So I should have known better because yes, I've written case studies for you. And I was like, that sounds like such a lovely idea. And then next thing I know, I would have, my open cart date show up in my face. And I'm like, oh, I have to, get people in here. So my very first, I'm in my current third launch for the big case study training program. The very first launch, it kind of like fell in my lap at the right time. I had another mutual friend, Jess Brooks, wrote to me and she was going into an interview and she basically said, how can I learn exactly what you do and how you create these case studies? Meanwhile, for the last 2 years, I had been just kind of sitting back and being like, oh, it would be really cool to have a program. It'd be really nice. Like, it seems really fun. I like teaching. I'll just wait for the right thing to find me. And it did. And I shopped around the idea to kind of get proof of concept first. And then I got enough people who were like, this would be really brilliant, where I was like, okay, I'll go ahead and like, I wrote the sales page. I outlined the training. I had nothing filmed. I had nothing completed. I think I left the cart open for 3 weeks. Like I kind of broke every single rule. I think I left the cart open for 3 weeks, closed it Christmas Day. I do remember that because a couple of people were like, this would be a really cool thing for me to ask for Christmas. So that was really neat, like a copywriter Christmas present. But the whole thing was just very chaotic. And it was just like the nature of that first launch. And then going into the second one, I was like, I got this. But like I said, that dude, launch date, that cart open date showed up before I knew it. And I really hadn't done any of the work. And having, you know, like we talked about, written the case studies for you, I knew what it could look like. And I was like, this is just a cluster. And I am so stressed and I don't really like it. And I know exactly what I need to do to not have this happen again.
So was that the thing that made you decide to take the pre-launch plan program ultimately?
Yeah, I would say that was definitely the thing that did it because you were launching around the same time that I was launching. And so I'm in the midst of this just feeling like so not good and so stressed. And I had 3 people that bought. And so it very much reflected in the sales of just like how chaotic that felt. And while you were launching, I'm seeing this and I'm like, I know that that's my ticket. I know that that's the thing to do. Why not go ahead and do it?
For your launch too, like why do you feel like it was so chaotic at that time? Like was it just were you trying to get the emails written? Was it like what part of it made it feel a little nutty, if you will?
A little nervy. I was so in my client work and I really just, up until this year, I did zero planning for myself. It was just get clients, serve the clients, get that work, get the social proof from them, and just kind of like keep chugging. And then I would look up and it would be right there. So I really wasn't doing any kind of planning whatsoever. So I was writing the emails right then. I was doing any kind of like updates to the sales page right then. I was promoting on social. So it was a lot of like doing in the
Right.
moment.
Totally. And so once you got inside the program, can you talk a little bit about your experience and what you feel like was really like what you learned?
Yeah, it was really great. I mean, like we talked about, I kind of knew some of the stuff that I was going to come in and experience, but still being in there, it was just a different level. Like you really truly are, I know you, but like you really truly are so supportive. The group of people that you attract is so supportive, so helpful. People were right there, like, in the Facebook group, answering each other's questions, giving feedback, having ideas for each other, being willing to be like the voice of customer research interviews. It was really wonderful. And again, I knew it, but experiencing it is just a whole different thing. So really the support and the community was huge. Also, just like how you have the training laid out. And I know we've talked about Nissa Brown before and like bless her because it's just so well laid out and it's so easy to follow it. Even I was going through and teaching my program at the time that I was really in your cohort. So I couldn't jump on the calls. I couldn't really partake as much as I wanted to, but I never felt left out. I never felt left behind. I never felt like, even though I could see people going on to further modules and I was, back on maybe module 2, I was excited and I could see the breakthroughs that they were having. And so I'm like, okay, cool. Like I can't wait till I get to that point. And I didn't really finish the training until after, that cohort had already run its course, but I never felt left behind and I never felt like I couldn't ask you a question or go and reach out to one of the other people from the group or something like that, just to be like, oh, this thing, like, what about that? Or go back to one of the recordings, the replays that you had from the live calls. So, I mean, it's just chock full of goodness.
Right. And can you talk a little bit about like the resources and like what is in the program that you really liked?
I really love that calendar. That calendar has been amazing. So I don't know what's the exact name that we call it. Is
I don't even know if I have a name for it. So is it the one that's like an Excel spreadsheet or is it just the regular planning calendar?
the Excel spreadsheet where you punch in the date and then it like populates the rest of
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. That's
So
actually
magical.
Justin Blackman helped me create that. It was like his
No
that
surprises.
that was his like brainchild. Yeah, I don't think an Excel spreadsheet. So he was like, it'd be really nice if you could do this. I'm like, oh, I never even thought about it that way. And so yeah, it's a great calendar that so for if you're listening, it's a calendar where basically you just put in like, okay, what day am I launching? And then it just populates everything for you and tells you
Mhm.
exactly like what you need to do when.
Yeah. Leave it to Justin to come up with something smart like that.
Right? I
I
love
don't
his
think in
brain.
Excel spreadsheets either. Yeah. No, but it's so great because, like you said, you just type in the date and the whole calendar, all of the prompts and the themes and things like that that you need for the week of your pre-launch or launch is already in there. It just puts the dates in there for you. So it makes it really easy to follow and you feel like it's personalized and tailored for you and your launch, which is kind of cool. So that was a really helpful thing. That very first module where you have us go, I think that's where you have us go and do some voice of customer research, market
Mhm.
research. So I'm always doing interviews. I'm always listening to people. I'm always asking follow-up questions. It's just who I am. I can't help it. And still having that focused exercise to go and ask people, it's always really helpful. That's probably my favorite thing to do because I'm constantly tweaking and making things better and tightening up the messaging and all of that. So that was really, really, really huge for me. And even just writing down what I thought or what I had seen from my students and my clients, and then getting your eyes on it or getting other feedback from the group was so helpful because it just opens my eyes to other things that I hadn't thought about or that other people are experiencing that I just hadn't been told about yet. So that I would say
Yeah.
those are my two favorite things.
Yeah, and I think it's really something to point out, like it, that it's something. It's not like you're new to voice of a customer research by any way, and this is what comes. I see again and again with this program is like people are like, oh, I already kind of know this stuff. It's like, you know what? But there's a difference of like sitting down, applying it in your own business, and then getting groupthink, like having feedback, having people ask you questions, have you think about it differently, even if it's an area where it's an area of your own expertise. There's something about getting out. It's we don't like you said, you just don't know. Like when you're inside the bottle, you can't see outside of it, right? And I think that is uh one of the things I love. And it's why I keep this a live group cohort, because I see the magic that happens with discussions, with feedback, with pondering, with, going a little bit deeper than we can do if we're just on our own.
Yeah, and to piggyback on that, you and I did the sales call, like, or the sales page overhaul, I'm gonna call it, where you actually went through and you critiqued it. We got on a call, we were talking through some things, and that was really helpful because, like I said, the first time that I launched this, I really launched it on the fly. And I did a very unconventional sales page on purpose, but that wasn't, it didn't then serve me the second round. So I really needed to like completely overhaul it, which I still haven't quite finished. However, like I have all of the pieces that I know that the steps I need to take and the things I need to do so that it already feels less stressful. And I haven't even like finished all of the things, but I know those action steps. I know what I need to fill. I know what I need to say. I know what people want to hear, the questions that they're asking, the objections they have, the beliefs that they believe, all of that. Like it's great.
Yeah, and the one thing, now that you said that, made me think about, we actually created your tagline through. So if
Yes.
you join the pre-launch plan program for this round, I'm doing it again where if you get a sales page bonus audit, so where I give you direct feedback on your sales page. But then you and I had a one-on-one call, and we came up with your new tagline, which I know was a real like aha moment, because it's been something you've been working
Was.
on, and we were able to nail it.
We were, and now I want to find it because I'm like, it was so smart. I haven't been saying it enough yet, obviously. Let me see. As I get into my Google Docs, at least everything is organized. That's like to tie this in with pre-launch, that is like the most helpful thing. It's organized. I know my next steps. I have all the things, and now it's just like, okay, plug in the pieces, like connect all of the blocks. But the tagline, which Brenna came up with, and it was absolutely brilliant. Story-based case studies backed by SEO, so your clients find you, fall in love with you, and hand you their money.
Yeah, I love it. Like it was
It
so
was
clear.
amazing. Hmm.
Yeah. I uh I I think sometimes when we have those, and I think that's the other thing too. And Marisa Corcoran, our mutual friend, talks about this all the time. And it's like sometimes if you don't even finish a program to 100% completion and do everything from A to Z, you have these things that give you that like, oh my gosh, this is what I needed to like keep moving and keep doing things. And so I love that we were able to we were able to come up together for that with you.
Yeah, it was amazing. I remember getting on that call and you're like, okay, what do you really want out of this? And I was like, a tagline. I just meant something that's easy to say that encapsulates this program. And it was really hard. Like you said, I do this for other people, but when it comes to my own stuff, I'm too in the bottle. I'm too in the jar. I can't always help myself, nor should I. Like it's great to have other resources and other people who can shine a light on different things or connect the dots in a different way than I would. That probably makes a little bit more sense to my ideal client.
Yeah, totally. And so now that I know you've taken the program, like, what would you recommend? What would you recommend if someone's like, I'm thinking about this, but I'm not sure? Like, how has the program changed your outlook on pre-launch and how you're going to be applying it to your next launch?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it streamlines everything. It helps organize things. I know my next steps. The community was incredibly supportive. Your insights were invaluable. If you're thinking about it, I even remember, even though I know you, even though we're friends, even though we're Voxer buddies, even though you've been my client, I still went to you on Voxer and was like, okay, but I have this question. So if that's you, just go ask Brenna the question. I'm sure, are you doing like the sales calls and that kind of thing, or just like the
Yep.
quick conversations?
You can Voxer me, you can DM me. I'm happy to have. It's funny this week too. I have been talking to people on Video Ask on Voxer. I had someone text me this morning. I had a sales call yesterday. Right, like they're like I'm like whatever the medium is that's good for you to ask a quick question and get clarity, because I do want you to make sure, like, I know you take your decisions very seriously, and so do I in terms of my investments, and I want to make sure everyone feels really good about their decision whether to join or their decision not to join.
Yeah, definitely. So reach Brenna any way, shape, or form, smoke signal, whatever, flare gun, like say hi, ask your question. And I can't recommend the program enough because it really has, like I said, I'm entering pre-launch and I'm not stressed. So my goal was like achieved if nothing else. I have a one-liner that beautifully sums up my program. I feel very confident about who I'm talking to and how I can help them. And that feeling is incredible. Like I already had that, but I just feel 10 times better about it now.
Yeah, it's almost priceless, right? I think there's like a
Oh, it's so
confidence that
priceless.
comes when you know. And I think even my own lunches and doing it, like I've seen it even in myself. It's just a different experience. And I also feel like too, there's a letting go that happens because when you're so confident in your messaging and how you can help people that you're able just like to put it out there and be like, okay, I know this is so great, like come. And I feel like it just attracts a different audience and attracts those rock stars who come in and like do the work and get great results like you. So thank you, Brittany. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to chat with me and tell everyone about your experience and tell everyone if they're interested in case studies and SEO where they can find you.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thanks for having me on and letting me talk about case studies. As always, it's just really fun. And for all of your help inside PPP. I mean, that was, like you said, invaluable. If you want to reach me for anything, even if you just want to ask me more questions about being inside PPP, I can be found brittanyherzberg.com. And I definitely live over on Instagram, Brittany_Herzberg, and I'll make sure that I go in and add comments for those two things.
Perfect. Well, good. Well, thank you, Brittany, for being here. And thank you, everyone. If you're interested in the pre-launch plan program, doors officially open up on Thursday, March 14th. So yeah, we're coming up to opening. And we have little like early bird bonuses. If you have questions, hit me up in the DMs, video ask, like a Voxer all the ways. And have a great day and we'll talk soon. Thanks. Bye.